Classroom of the Elite has always been a story about strategy, manipulation, and psychological warfare. But season May 4th be hiding a detail that completely changes the way we see Kiyotaka Ayanokoji. And the most interesting part is that this secret is not hidden in a single scene. It is hidden in the direction the story is about to take. If you followed the previous seasons, you know that Ayanokoji spent most of the story operating from the shadows. Even when he helped his class, he avoided drawing attention to himself. His goal was never to become the most popular student or the class leader. His goal was always to control the situation without anyone realizing he was behind everything. That was the case during the deserted island exam. It was the same in his confrontation with Ryu and Kakeru. And it happened again and again, whenever he manipulated events while appearing to be just an ordinary student. But Season 4 marks the beginning of a completely different phase. It adapts the start of the second year at the advanced, nurturing high school. And this is the point where the story stops being just a competition between classes. New students arrive. New rules are introduced. New special exams place everyone under intense pressure. And for the first time, Ayanokoji is being watched by people who know his true origin. One of those threats is directly connected to the White Room. The White Room was the project created by Atsuomi Ayanokoji, his father. In that environment, children were subjected to extreme training designed to develop extraordinary intellectual and physical abilities. Kiyotaka was the greatest success of that project. But he was also the one who chose to escape from it. And that matters because his father never accepted that decision. To Atsuomi, Kiyotaka is not just a son. He is living proof that the White Room succeeded. That is why the second year is so dangerous. What appears to be just another school term is actually an attempt to force Ayanokoji to leave the school and return to the place he wants to escape forever. And here is the real secret Season 4 is hiding. For the first time, Ayanokoji is no longer just manipulating classmates and winning school exams. Now he is facing people who were sent specifically to test him, monitor him, and if possible, defeat him. That completely changes the nature of the conflict. In previous seasons, Ayanokoji fought to protect his freedom while remaining invisible. In the second year, his very existence becomes the main target. And there are concrete examples that prove this shift. Susan Horikita continues to grow as a leader and makes increasingly independent decisions. Ryuin remains one of the few students capable of challenging Ayanokoji in unpredictable ways. Arisu Sakayaneji keeps analyzing every move he makes, trying to understand the true extent of his abilities. Hanami Ichinos faces personal struggles that could shift the balance between the classes. But above all of these rivalries, there is a much greater threat. The White Room has begun to act again, and that means Ayanokoji can no longer rely solely on his ability to stay in the shadows. At the start of the second year, new students and key figures connected to his father's plan begin to appear. These individuals are not at the school by coincidence. They have one clear objective: to pressure Ayanokoji and push him to his limits. This removes one of his greatest advantages: anonymity. Until now, very few people understood who he really was. Now he faces opponents who know his background and understand they are dealing with someone extraordinary. And that forces Ayanokoji to act much more directly. He remains calculating. He remains cold. He remains several steps ahead of everyone else. But this time, the stakes are much higher, because one mistake could mean the end of his freedom. And that makes every decision more important than ever. The new special exams increase this pressure even further. The rules become more complex. Alliances become more unstable. And students must rely not only on intelligence, but also on trust, manipulation, and emotional endurance. In other words, the second year amplifies everything that made Classroom of the Elite so compelling. More strategy, more mind games, more rivalries, more pressure, and a much more personal conflict for the protagonist. That is why so many fans consider this one of the best parts of the entire series. Because it does not only show what Ayanokoji is capable of doing, it shows what happens when his past finally catches up with him. And when that happens, even someone like Ayanokoji is forced to step out of the shadows. In the end, the true secret of Classroom of the Elite Season 4 is simple. The story stops being just a contest between talented students and becomes a direct confrontation between Kiyotaka Ayanokoji and the system that created him. The White Room is not just part of his past. It is the greatest threat to the future he wants to build, and it may reveal the most dangerous, strategic, and ruthless version of Ayanokoji we have ever seen. And you? Do you think Season 4 will show the strongest version of Ayanokoji yet? Or do you believe someone will finally put him in an impossible situation? Share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel, because there are still many hidden details in Classroom of the Elite that can completely change the way we see this story.